pretty excited this morning to have Chalene on the line. She is obviously one of our top celebrity trainers. She's the creator of Turbo Jam, Turbo Fire, Chalene Extreme, and of course PiYo. She's a motivational speaker, always in high demand. She's a New York Times best-selling author of the book Push. And get this, the first female to have host 2 #1 infomercials in the entire world, so that's pretty cool. You know, one other thing, when I think about Chalene, she's really a remarkable individual, remarkable woman. I think of her ability to create this tribe, in Seth Godin's words, the sense of community and followership around her. She continually recreates and reinvents and keeps herself relevant by continuing to learn and do things. So she's a great model. She's put her fingerprints on so many lives. Chalene, we are absolutely delighted to have you on the call today to talk about PiYo. So are you with us?
I'm with you and very excited. Thank you for the opportunity.
You bet. Well, listen, before we jump into PiYo, Turbo Fire is one of our product challenge pack promotions for the month. Let's just maybe tell people why they ought to be pushing PiYo out there. Tell us, or not PiYo, Turbo Fire. Tell us, why does Turbo Fire work so well?
Well, Turbo Fire works so well because of the science of HIIT training, and it works well from a results standpoint, and it works really well from a mindset standpoint. I think most people, especially those who are kind of drawn to a cardio workout, dread having to do long bouts of cardio. And in fact, that's what's great about HIIT training is it's very adaptable for someone who's extremely fit and someone who's brand new, because, you know, at its max, when you're in those intervals, they're so short, they're a minute. And anyone's able to go for a minute. You know, no matter what level of fitness you're at, you can go for a minute at your personal max. Not necessarily the person next to you's personal max. That allows you to customize and individualize the intensity based on your current level of fitness. So from a results standpoint, it's phenomenal because HIIT training is just a superior way to burn fat and calories. And from a mentality standpoint, it's ironically, people assume it's a very, very advanced workout, but for a lot of people, the length of time is advanced. If you're asking someone to do 30 minutes or an hour-long workout, that's a pretty big commitment. But if you can just say to someone, hey, I've got a 15-minute workout, and as a matter of fact, you're going to work a minute and then rest a minute, work a minute and then rest a minute. That sounds pretty doable for a new person. You know, it's a place to start. It's an on-ramp. So the results are incredible, and it's one of those programs that if it fits their personality type, what they love. And I would say not every program is for every person, but if this is in, you know, their category of things that they are going to be drawn to, this is just a perfect workout.
So just expound upon that just a little bit, you know, the kind of the type of person or personality. So if you were to say, here's kind of the people that we see most would be drawn to this kind of a Turbo Fire. How do you describe that?
You are on the beat. So it's, you know, I don't sugarcoat that. I think somebody can't hear the beat, has a hard time staying on the beat. You know, when they clap, they're the only one in the room who's off. This is not their program. But this is for somebody who, like, loves music. Like, music's kind of everything when they work out, and it's really hard for them not to be standing in line at the bank depositing their Beachbody Coach check and dance if there's music on in the background. Like, they just can't help but move to the beat, and they love music, and they love the group mentality, because we film everything, you know, really based around that feeling you get when you work out live with a group of people, which is, you know, I just got home from teaching at the gym because it's an addiction. You know, there is something to be said about feeling the energy of people around you, and Carl just really helped us to be the first DVD program ever to really capture that. I mean, the camera for a lot of the videos is set up right in the middle of the room, like you're in there with the students around you, and you have a bird's eye view as if you're in the front row, and it really does simulate the experience of that esprit de corps, that powerful energy you feel when you're surrounded with people who are just going hard. And it's for people who love that, the music and the intensity, but there is an element of coordination. And I think it's important that as coaches, you know, you listen to what it is people like, because if we just try to force feed things on people, then they don't have a good experience. If you just listen to what they like and what are they drawn to, and you listen to their needs, you're best able to give them a program in our catalog that's going to be successful. And that's the key, is being a good coach is listening to know what someone's drawn to. And if they're a little bit familiar with kickboxing, great. They don't have to be totally familiar with kickboxing. They don't have to be a dancer, but you have to kind of be able to stay on a beat.
I think I could do it.
I know you could.
I think I've got rhythm. I don't know if I can.
I've seen you dance.
Well, yeah, I've watched Monica Gray dance too, and I go, okay, if she's the standard, I don't think I could ever.
Yeah, that's a whole nother level.
That's a whole different level on that. But hey, but on a serious note, and I say I think I could do it from a, I think there's sometimes a perception that, well, this is more female-oriented than it is male-oriented. Just respond to that. Why would this work great for a guy?
That TurboFire is more female-oriented?
Yeah, sometimes I think there's a little bit of that perception.
Oh, I think people just always say that because it's me versus Tony. It's just funny, I've done Beast. I love Beast because Beast is really based on the same principles that we do in Chalene Extreme. But people go, yeah, Beast is for the dudes and Chalene Extreme is for the ladies. I'm like, hello, it's strength training. The only difference is a dude can pick up heavier weights. It's still legit science. So I think sometimes people just say, this is really more geared towards men or this is really more geared towards women, when I don't think that's the case, except that, maybe there's a myth out there that guys don't necessarily want to work out to the beat, and I think there's a lot of them that do, and a lot of them will find it gives them an incredible adrenaline rush. That it keeps you on pace, it keeps you on tempo. But rather than saying male or female, I will say that it does appeal to someone who wants their brain to be so busy, and because your brain is pretty busy when you're watching TurboFire, that all of a sudden you're like, oh, it's over? Oh, my God. I was so trying to figure out what direction we were going in that I didn't realize I'm drenched in sweat. I can hardly breathe, and it's over. Cool, That's one thing that I think there are certain workouts where you're like, oh, my gosh, this minute is taking so long. I am dying. When is this minute going to be over? I'm not going to name programs. But then there are those programs where it goes by so freaking fast because you're trying to figure out what you're doing. Your body's trying to keep up, and, there's some benefit to that.
Yeah, I think there's great benefit to that, and I mean, I threw that out because I did want you to dispel that, and I think that there's a lot of, like you say, I love workouts that keep me going like that, where you really have to think about it. You have to think, am I in rhythm? Am I on the beat, so to speak? But then it's the workout at the same time, and high energy. I mean, and it combines just a tremendous amount of fun. I mean, fun, but the endorphins get going, and you got to be thinking, and I like that aspect of it. So
I think it's
anyway.
key.
Yeah. Well, listen, let's jump over and start to talk about PiYo. So what inspired you to create PiYo?
What inspired me to create PiYo was my own inflexibility and just doing so much research on the, greater strength potential and the just freedom of movement and feeling better and reducing injuries and just the physical results. I knew I needed to address my own flexibility, and so I started taking Pilates and yoga classes to do that, and I felt like a fish out of water. I felt like I was having a panic attack. I just felt like I was in the wrong place. I felt like, oh my gosh, everybody in here is super calm and very flexible, and how did that girl just get her nose down by her knee? And, I felt out of place, but I knew I needed it, and I didn't like feeling out of place like that. I didn't like holding still, and I didn't like the fact that the only way I was going to get super sweaty is if I was in a room where they had turned up the heat to 90 degrees, and that just didn't make sense to me. I want to move, and I want to sweat not because the heat's turned up, but because my body temperature's turned up. And I was just I actually got kicked out of a yoga class. True story.
Wow.
Because the instructor was like, you need to just stop moving and stop talking and just hold still. Just surrender, were the words she uses, just surrender. And I think there's a place for a lot of people who love that, and it's a beautiful practice. And just like all things, there's something for everyone. You've got to find your fit. That wasn't my fit. And so I wanted to create a workout that would address what I saw as a big chunk of the population who didn't feel comfortable in a yoga class. They didn't feel graceful enough to be in a Pilates class, but yet they understand, I got to get flexible. I need this. But I want to move, and I don't want to have to schedule cardio then later in the day and strength later in the day. I want it all in one workout. And I was with a friend in Vegas many years ago before I created PiYo, and we were talking about this. And I'd seen Cirque du Soleil the night before with my husband, and we were working out at a 24-hour fitness with my girlfriend who lived in Las Vegas, and she said, see that girl over there? She's in the production you just saw. And I was watching her train at the gym. And she had the most amazing body, and she was doing all these different very dynamic, flowing body weight exercises, and her body was just incredibly toned and chiseled but yet still feminine, and all the men in the show just looked so masculine and strong and just like gymnasts, but they weren't doing gymnastics. And I thought, I've got to tap into this body weight training and flexibility and combine it all together. And so I created it very much to solve my own problem, because I knew there was a massive amount of people out there who felt the same way. I need flexibility training. I don't have time to train later again in the day, and I need results.
Yeah, that's, you're describing this, and you're describing me in a lot of respects, because I love to work out. I love the cardio aspect of it. If I have to default to something, I'll default to that.
Yep.
If I'm doing some of the other programs and it's yoga day or Pilates day, I almost want to avoid it like the plague, because I'm going to go, okay, I'm going to slow down. I'm not going to feel like a workout. I always feel phenomenal after from a flexibility standpoint, but then I always feel like, okay, I got to still get something going. So So tell us just a little bit more about that. So you've really struck this beautiful balance, if you will, of the Pilates, yoga, yet in a stepped up. That may not be your words, but in a way that still pushes you. So describe a little bit about the program.
I would have to say, my only regret is that I named the program PiYo. And I say that because I think people will think Pilates and yoga, and it's just a fraction. There's just some influence of those two formats, but it's so much more. It's athletic stretch. It's stuff that I've learned from watching the conditioning coaches from the NFL, from professional sporting teams, from the things that I've learned about body weight training and the best ways to train your core, and it's all rolled into one incredibly dynamic program that we've called PiYo, but I think it's so limiting for anyone to assume that it's Pilates and yoga combined, because it's not. It's got some of those influences, but PiYo is its own unique format that you've never done something like this before. It is transformational, whereas a lot of Pilates and yoga programs, like you said, it feels fantastic, but you don't see the kind of results. That's why we don't see, yoga infomercials on TV, because they just don't transform bodies the way people need. And so it's so much more than Pilates and yoga. It's really its own unique program. And what I've created for the gyms, I don't know, I guess it's probably 12 years ago now, is just a fraction of what our Beachbody customers are going to get in PiYo. The home DVD program is so robust. It's so much bigger, so much fuller, so much more of an experience than even what I designed for the health clubs. I can't wait for people to get it. I'm freaking out.
Well, so let me ask a very artful question, okay, very delicate and artful question. Would I finish this program and say, I just got my butt kicked?
Yes, you would. Yeah.
Awesome.
You absolutely would. And there's no piece of it where you're high impact. It's so incredibly transforming without having to kill your joints. That was the other conversation Carl and I had, because we've been talking about PiYo for years. And what happened is, a little backstory is I created Chalene Extreme and then Turbo Fire. And, I practice what I preach, so when I put something on my plate, I try to take something else off. So I had to go, okay, what am I going to take off my schedule? I'm still lifting, so there's my Chalene Extreme workouts. I'm still going to do those. And I still need my cardio, so I'm still going to do my Turbo Fire, Turbo Jam workouts. well, I'll just stretch on the side. I'll get rid of my PiYo workouts at the gym. So I stopped teaching PiYo for about 4.5 years. True story. We were still creating it for our customers, but I wasn't teaching it and I wasn't practicing it. And for those customers who've been with us for a long time, you know, or followed me on my blogs and Facebook posts, I spent about 18 months just debilitated with reoccurring injuries, a hamstring pull, followed by plantar fasciitis, followed by a hip pull, followed by a lower back strain, followed by, rib strain, followed by, I was like, what is wrong with me? And I was working with a kinesiologist, and I said to him laughingly, like I was seeing him like 3 times a week with something new. And I said to him, I said, I guess this is just part of getting old, huh? And he kind of looked at me funny, surprised. He goes, no, this is because you've lost your flexibility. You just have to get flexible again. And I was like, oh, holy cow. You're right. I'm not old. I'm just not flexible. So I went back and I picked up all my PiYo classes again, and I dug in deep. And you can ask anyone who knows me personally. I haven't had injuries in 3 years, 2.5 years since I started going deep back into PiYo. And my body started to change. You can see it if you watch the Turbo Fire DVDs, the second series that we did, all low impact, the ones where there's brick in the background. That whole series is when I just started to cut back on certain areas and really just focus on PiYo and Turbo Fire, and my body really just started to go, this is what we've been needing. You need to take it you need to get strong from the inside out. Stop beating up your body, and I think people, you're going to see and feel the difference. Your body is craving to be restored. Your body is craving flexibility. If you wake up in the morning and you feel like you need a walker to get to the restroom and, you feel old and beat up, that's what's going on, and that goes away. That's not old.
I can put the walker away now?
You put the walker away.
I love it. So, early when we were talking about Turbo Fire, you were talking a little bit about, it's the hit, it's hitting the beat, type of a thing.
Yes.
Which is, it feels a little more choreographed. So, is there choreography in PiYo?
Well, I mean, I guess there's. Yeah, well, yeah, I guess choreography, but not dance choreography. Choreography in that there's a sequence of exercises that you would follow, but there's never like a grapevine kick and heel and heel and heel tap. It's none of that. It's like, okay, let's fold in half, go into downward dog, step through with your right foot, left arm goes up to the sky. It's a sequence. It's not. There's definitely no. You don't have to be super coordinated. Trust me. Anyone can do it.
How many workouts are there? Tell us a little bit about the program.
I don't know how many workouts there are. I suppose I should know that, but I can tell you what I filmed. I can tell you that the workouts range from 25 to 45 minutes.
Okay.
And I designed to. I know a lot of people have tried PiYo in the gyms, and I want you to know that's like a sampler plate. You've really just gotten a little tiny piece of every portion of a turbo experience. The program we've created for our at-home customer allows you not just to customize your workout, but to customize your emphasis and your focus for that day. So when you take a PiYo workout in the gym, you're going to get a little, 5 minutes where we focus on the whole body, 5 minutes when we just focus on the glutes, 5 minutes when we just focus on the core, 5 minutes where we just focus on dynamic stretch. And when we designed this workout, I wanted people to go, my trouble area is my booty, and I want to get strong and flexible, and I want a booty lift. So we would create literally a 35-minute workout that gets you flexible everywhere, gives you your cardio workout, but you become more flexible, and it just targets the glutes. And then we create a second workout that's just upper body, but, you're still getting flexibility training for your lower body. And then one for core, and one that's really intended to almost give you the benefits of HIIT training, where we're working in intervals, but it's all completely low impact, and it's created so that you build that dynamic, powerful stretch that comes from, or powerful strength that comes from body weight training. So each and every workout, you can combine them if you want a long workout, or you can really customize it and say, okay, I just want to do 25 minutes today, and I want to get my cardio in, and I want to get my strength in, and I want to be more flexible, and I just want to focus on my abs, or I just want to focus on my glutes or my arms. And I think people are going to love that.
Sounds great. So this next question is a little bit like asking, which is your favorite child? Is there such thing as one of your favorite workouts in this series that you've put together, or do they just all come together?
Oh man, I don't know. I mean, because there's some that I love because they're so hard that I love it because it was intense, and there's some I love just because of the way it makes my body feel. I love them all. I think I have a gag order on me not to talk about some of the things that are in the program.
You're good, Dan.
Okay, but there's some really cool things that Beachbody's never done before. I think that's all that I can say. I feel like Heather Church might be listening in on this call. I would get in trouble for sharing too much, but gosh, if you guys aren't coming to Summit, find a way to be there. If you know someone who's going, like text them right now and say, please bring me home, PiYo, because it's going to change. I mean, it's the program Beachbody's, and I hope I'm not biased, but I really think this is the program that Beachbody's been needing. They've needed a program that just, it restores the body, and I mean, and listen, I've got plenty of programs where you're jumping up and down. I'm so happy to bring a program to people that it's actually going to make a change in the way they look and feel, and actually restore their joints, their knees, their back, and give them results.
It's awesome. Just we're running out of time here, so maybe just two questions. The first is, again, who is PiYo for? And then any last, you've kind of closed it out right there with what you just said, but any other just last thoughts on it? So who's it for? And last thoughts, that if I haven't asked you a question on something you wanted to share, what would you share?
I would say that PiYo is really ideal for someone who either has any type of joint or knee or back problems, and so they have a difficult time even watching a modifier in our other programs. It still feels intimidating because everybody else in the video is jumping around, even when there is a modifier. I think this program in particular is well suited for those cardio junkies who have beat themselves up and they've hit a plateau, or they're dealing with injuries and they keep thinking it's because of this or that, and it's truthfully because they haven't spent enough time on their flexibility. I think PiYo is ideal for somebody who is just getting into fitness. And it's scary to go 100 miles per hour and kick and punch and jump. Or, the Shaun T's programs might be too intense, too intimidating. And that this is a great on-ramp for anyone who, yet you want it, because when you introduce someone to a program, if they don't see results, it's tough to talk them into understanding how beneficial Shakeology is, or anything else for that matter. So people need to see results, and with this program, even though it's a great on-ramp program, it can be customized to be as intense as it need be for the customer.
Well, I'm excited about it personally because, I mean, just as you started out describing this, you kind of go, I need that thing that keeps me going but creates flexibility. And as I get older, which we all are, right? But the flexibility.
Speak for yourself, Jeff.
Well, believe me, and I keep going. This is the kind of thing, that I need.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited about it. And the other thing I love is that you always bring, tremendous personality, but a high sense of, energy and passion, and you can't help but have, just the endorphins, kind of working through that, just sets up the day perfectly as well. So
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I think this is going to be an absolutely incredible program. And
who says you have to jump, grunt, strain, and punish yourself to get results from a workout?
You can really get an incredible workout. You don't have to beat yourself up.
And who says you can only get the benefits of Pilates and yoga by holding long, intense poses?
You are going to look so good.
Introducing PiYo, a fitness breakthrough that fuses the muscle sculpting benefits of Pilates with the core strengthening and stretching benefits of yoga. But don't expect to stand still and just hold poses. PiYo speeds everything up, including the results.
PiYo has significantly changed the shape of my body.
PiYo's dynamic flowing sequences deliver a serious calorie burn at the same time that it lengthens, tones, and increases flexibility.
I am a mother of two, and PiYo has really leaned me up and defined my abs in ways that I have never seen.
And one of the best things is that these workouts sculpt and define your body with no weights and no equipment.
It's one of the most challenging strength-building workouts I've ever done. I'm literally drenched in sweat, and I haven't touched a weight today.
We're not using weights. We're using our own weight.
Not only are there no weights, but PiYo is low impact, which means you'll burn off excess fat, get more defined, and help alleviate aches and pains created by age or other workout programs.
I got injured about a year ago. I couldn't do any exercises where I had to run or jump, so I started religiously doing PiYo. Not only did my injury get healed quicker, but I lost 15 pounds.
Change your body, sculpt your body, and be kind to your body.
PiYo is a low-impact workout that delivers incredibly visible results to people of all ages and all fitness levels.
I'm 47, and I'm in the best shape of my life because of PiYo.
PiYo hits every single muscle. I got muscles in places I never knew I had.
We are going to define your body.
To this music, I'm an addict, I can't break